Hey everyone, today I wanted to do a quick follow-up video on yesterday's Monk video. In that one I kind of gave my first impressions and I talked about the new additions to Monk. And well, today we got a small rework of the job gauge of Monk and also a bunch of like potency changes and whatnot. Now if you look at the balance changes themselves, you're going to see a lot of potency buffs, but when it comes down to our actual damage output, it's going to be about a 1% DPS gain. The main reason for that is we're going to be using our high DPS skills a lot less, which is why all the potencies went up with quite a bit. So the main thing that has happened in this patch are two things, or well, I guess three things. One, they buffed our AoE, because our AoE does not benefit from our job gauge, meaning that it lost the damage compared to the previous Monk, so that's why they buffed the potency of our AoE. The second thing is that they got rid of unbuffed Dragon Kick, giving you a orb. So for those that don't know how the new Monk works, whenever you press the skills that used to give you a buff, they are now going to be filling your job gauge like so, as you can see right here. And what happened was, whenever you would hit your Dragon Kick, it would just give you an orb regardless of like what stance you were in. So what you could do was you could use your Boot Shine to eat the orb, and then you could do Dragon Kick again to then give yourself a new orb. But as you can see, I can hit my Dragon Kick out of stance and it's not giving me an orb anymore. So that was kind of a bug fix that they did on that department. And then the last thing that they did was they shortened our job gauge, so to speak. Previously we had 1 orb in the first stance, 2 orbs for the second stance, and 3 orbs for the third stance. And this just meant that you were hitting the same skills quite a lot, made rotation a bit more dull than it used to be in Endwalker, and it also meant that you were going to be on the flank of the boss a lot, because the final stance is where you do your positional, and you only had to hit the back once every 4 combos, meaning that it just kind of felt awkward that you were going to be spending so much time on the flank. Right now they have shortened the job gauge to be 1, 1 and then 2 orbs for the 3 stances respectively, which means that you are essentially just going to be going back to the old rotation that we used to have back in Endwalker. Of course, this does not change anything for your burst. That is still very much so going to be the same. So even though the normal rotation is now going to look something like this, where we are going to be weaving between the back and the flank a bit more often, and we're now also going to be alternating our Twin Snakes and True Strike again, which I do kind of like that as well. Our burst is still going to look the same, so nothing on that front has changed. So if you're not really a fan of all the Dragon Kick Boot Shine memes during our burst, nothing in that department is going to be changed, because of course Riddle of Fire is still the way it is. So we're going to be sending that out after to get another Formless Fist, and then of course we can just kind of continue on with how the rotation then works after that. So the rotation itself has changed a little bit, because right now we are going to be spending a lot more time weaving between the back and the flank, which is something that I do like. We're also going to be alternating our other skills a lot more as well, which is something that we weren't really doing before. So it does feel better to play again, in my opinion. I didn't really mind how the old rotation worked for a Dawntrail Monk, but I must say that I do prefer this one. So I do like that they kind of made that change. For people that really liked the tight buff refreshes while getting your stickers during your 2 minutes, that is something that is still gone. So if you really like that and you miss it a lot, it's still not coming back in our current version of Monk. But I do think that this is a slight improvement of what we had at the launch of Dawntrail. And yeah, that covers just about all the changes, or the important ones at least. Let me know in the comments what you think of them. And with that, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.